CodingPhase.com. What's really good, guys? Happy Sunday, right? If I'm not mistaken, today's Sunday, right? So yeah, man, I wanted to come here, do a quick Q&A. Any questions you guys might have, any topics you guys might have about web development, I want to come in here and answer your questions, and help you out in whatever I can. Okay, and again, in any topics that you guys might have, let's do it. Let's have that conversation. Shout out to everybody that's in here, that's popping up on the live stream. Please put a message on the chat so I know you was here, and also so I can give you a shout out. All right. So, guys, let me see what's really good. Who's in here? Da da da. We're just still letting this thing load up and get everybody to get notified. Yeah, man. Um, yeah. So what I've been up to? Shoot. My daughter was born this week, so I've been enjoying that. Right. We actually had to cancel the meeting for Monday, for the accountability meeting, but we are back tomorrow. Yes. Hopefully, if the storm, there's supposed to be a storm happening out here. I don't know if you guys have heard about it here in Florida, but it's looking cloudy, looking a little bit crazy. A lot of things dropping on the pool. Hopefully, nothing crazy happens. All right, but yeah, let's get into it, man. Angel Medina, what up? Don Music, what up? What you guys been up to? What you guys are working on? Let me know. So yeah, talking about me, right? Until everybody gets here. Yeah, I'm still working on my startup. Basically, I've done the Shopify theme. Now I'm working on the Shopify app that comes with the the service that I'm creating for artists. I wanted to release it, by the 15th of August, but I might have to push it back at least a week or 2 weeks. Um, yeah, I'm just working on that. That's what I've been up to, right? Also, I've also been looking into, all of the different jobs that keep popping up on my radar, right? And adding that to the jobs list that we have on CodingPhase.com, for all of the students. There's a lot of opportunities popping up, guys. A lot of times we think that we need to have the specific job title as your first job, but in reality, all you really care about is getting in. Okay, once you have that first job opportunity, that's going to open up the doors for everything else that comes with it. I was actually watching a video from another YouTuber. I forgot his name. I think his name is Aman or something like that, and he gave a really good tip. And he also, I think he does coaching for like college students and boot camp graduates. I think that's his niche, right? The people that he's trying to help out, young kids who are just coming out of school and can't find a job, can't get into a job. And he gave a good advice, right? That makes sense, and that is, to get experience no matter what. Right? Even though I've been saying that for years, but shoot, we like to go and give shout outs to other people too. But yeah, he was talking about, most people that are graduating college, if they didn't have an internship or didn't have one or two internships in their college years, they're not finding any jobs at all. And I'm seeing that right now, even on my own service on CodingPhase.com. A lot of people that reach out to me, they have degrees. So this idea that's like, oh, well, you have a degree and it's a guaranteed job, it's cap, right? Most of these companies, they want you to have experience. Now, one thing that he said was, for those young students that are just graduating, if they can't find a job, right, it's better to go and work for free. Now, I know this is a topic that people are like, work for free, right? But I think it does make sense. And I give you an example. When does working for free make sense? So let's say you graduated college, right? and you can't find a job. You're applying to a job, no one's calling you, no one's really interviewing you, and it's most likely because you have no experience and you just came out straight out of college, right? So most likely you don't know about web development. You don't really know what the job really consists of. So for someone that is like, let's say you graduated and now you're back home in your mom's house, your dad's house, etc., your family house, or maybe you have a little trust fund, right? You have a little trust fund, you have a little savings. Your parents were good parents. They worked hard. They saved you a little something so you could start off your life, right? Guess what? You might not need the income right now, even though it's always good to make money. But you can reach out to startups. You can reach out to startups and, you know, reach out to those founders and tell them, hey man, I'm willing to work for free. And I know the word free is very hard. Some people are like, free? They lose their mind. But you have to think about it like this. If people are not hiring you because you have no experience, right, as a fresh graduate from college, then you have to go in and get that experience somehow. Because at the end of the day, if that's the thing that's stopping you, you could be at home 6 months, a year, without finding a job, period, until somebody decides to give you a chance. Now, within that time, instead of you wasting time at home, you might as well get into the field and reach out to some of the startups and start working with them. Okay? Um, that way, when you go in and you do, like, let's say 2 months, 6 months, whatever it might be, as working as a developer, you know, maybe part-time, maybe full-time for one of these companies and the startups, that now gives you that resume that you needed to actually get a job. So instead of you having to wait a year and a half till someone gives you a chance, at least you already got a first step, right? You got your foot on the door, and now you got your resume built up with, you know, some experience. You can actually talk about what you did on the job, what you did on the internship, or, you know, we could say, we could call it like an internship, unpaid internship in a sense, and then from there be able to get that job that you need. I know sometimes it's hard to think about that because you say, well, I graduated college and now I can't find a job because I have no experience and no one's willing to give me experience or train me. But you have to do what you have to do. Life is not perfect. Some people come in and as soon as they apply, they get a job right away. Guess what? You're just like me. You're just like me. I'm not lucky. I have to go out there and make shit happen for myself. You get what I'm saying? Like, so you have to do the same thing. Right? There's some people that are lucky enough or have to, you know, all the stars aligned where everything seems like everything goes perfect for them. People like me, like you, most likely, that shit never happens, right? I always put this test, and I keep repeating it here. When was the last time you found $100, right? When was the last time you found $50 or $20 at that, right? It's not that common. So, to me, the way how I look at this, right, the universe is like, guess what? Maybe shit is not gonna happen for me if I'm just here waiting for it, or this new opportunity, or someone's gonna give me a chance. I gotta go out there and make it happen. I give you a great example. When I first started like learning how to code, I focused so much on JavaScript and like learning everything about JavaScript, but I didn't even know Git. I didn't even know certain lingo that you basically hear in companies, right? I didn't even know what agile was. I don't none of that shit, right? Now I'm lucky enough that two major companies, Twitter, Tumblr, allow me to interview, right? Because they see my work, they see my projects, and they're great. Sometimes you could really code and you're really good, but you're just not job ready, right? And I wasn't job ready at the time, to be honest with you. Like, me looking back, I'm like, what am I doing applying to like Twitter and Tumblr? Like, I'm not ready for those companies, right? I shouldn't have even been applying, but it's good that I at least, they gave me those interviews and made me realize that I'm missing a lot of things. Now, once I realized, okay, this companies, I'm not ready for those type of companies yet, but I still want to work. I still want to get experience. I still want to use the skills that I have because I could build websites. I could build web applications, right? I just haven't done it professionally, right? So what did I do? I went online. I checked on Monster Jobs. Back in the days, it wasn't Indeed. It was like Monster Jobs and things like that, right? And I go on Craigslist, right? I go on Craigslist, and there was this listing that said needed. Um, what was it? It was like needed HTML CSS, right? Experience with HTML CSS. They didn't even have a job title. They didn't have nothing, right? And the job consisted of being basically a product editor, right? Managing all the products that this company had on Amazon, Overstock, Sears at the time, right? Sears. When was the last time you heard Sears, right? Um, Sears and eBay, and a whole bunch of other like small little marketplaces. Then from there, they had a website which had not even listings of the product, just information about the company. But they wanted to update it. Then they also wanted to update all of their eBay listings, right? And the job said $13 an hour, right? Now, to be honest with you, I wasn't too excited to get $13 an hour because, you know, I was already making more than that. I was already making more than that in IT, right? I was like, already had 6 months working with IT, right? And I was making a little bit more than that. And the previous job that I had, that was like a parking lot attendant, I was making $12. So I'm like, yo, how the hell I'm gonna go? I'm learning a new skill to become a developer, to do this and that. I see people online on forums. Hey, I just got an offer for $50 an hour. I just got an offer for $90 an hour. This, and that, right? Guess what? I'm not getting that shit. And it's not because I'm not good. It's just sometimes in life, that's just how it is. Sometimes in life, like, you could work hard and you could do everything that you want, and you see other people that's getting all of these perks and all of this shit and going way faster than you into the goals that you want, right? But guess what? I could have easily just said, this sucks. I'm not gonna learn how to code, or I'm gonna stop here because guess what? No one hired me. No, I went on Craigslist, found this company, $13 an hour, right? The other companies were not able to give me a job because I didn't have no experience. They were willing to interview me, but clearly I didn't have no experience. So now I go in and go through this company, learn about the things that they do in e-commerce, learn how to work with a company. Now when I started applying to jobs, like, a month later, because I started right away. I started applying almost the same day that I got hired. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna continue applying until somebody, calls me back. And like 2 months later, 3 months later, I had another company hit me up for a front end developer position. It was like a junior front end developer position. But I wouldn't have gotten that job, that junior front end developer position, if I didn't go out of my way to try to get some type of experience, put myself out there, start learning, this product editor role, and do what I needed to do. Because now companies don't feel like, oh, we're taking a risk hiring this guy for the first time. Someone else already took the risk. So for those young kids that's graduating college, right? 21, 20, 22, right? And they're going for computer science. Bro, if you can't find a job and you're still living in your mom's house, get an internship. Work for free, right? Or work for, some of these companies that's out here that's giving you opportunities, like product editor, content editor, web administrator, HTML emails developer. Like, you could even get paid pretty well doing that. But I know some of you guys that don't believe in this shit. So it's fine. Don't believe in it, right? Go on your route of just at least working at a startup. If you're like, okay, I want to learn Next.js, React, etc., da da da, this is what I've been studying, and I can't find a job, reach out to startups. They're always looking for people to come in and work for free. So they'll give you an internship. You work there for, 3 to 6 months and continue applying to other jobs. When somebody calls you, you get out of there. You be like, yo, thank you guys. I appreciate everything you guys taught me here. Um, I got an offer. If you guys can match the offer, I'm willing to stay here working with you guys. If you're not willing to, match the offer, I have to go and do what I have to do for myself and for my family. Right? Whatever makes more sense for you. So yeah, don't be scared to take risks. Don't be scared to go in and put in the work. Guess what? Most of the people that you go and look up their stories, you look at Jeff Bezos, you look at a whole bunch of other like entrepreneurs and people who's at the top, right? Look up Bloomberg. Shit. Bloomberg has a crazy story, right? Most of those people start from the bottom. Like they grind it out. And they have to go and do this weird jobs, this weird side gigs, whatever they have to do to get to the goals. They're not waiting for the shit to happen to them and for somebody to come to them. They're just going for it, you know? It's like me. I could have easily went in and say, I'm just going to wait for my dream job. And I could have waited a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And you would have seen me in the comment section like, yo, man, I can't find a job. It's so saturated. The industry's been saturated since ever, like forever. Like you go back into time, there was always a lot of people applying for jobs, right? Now it's just a little bit more because it's been glamorized, right? Like people, they fall in love with the glamour of, walking around Google eating granola. People love that shit, right? People love that shit, but there's more to this than that, right? Even if you come in and you want to become a developer in this industry, you don't have to start at FANG. A lot of times the majority of people don't start there. Now that some people do, yes, but it's just I go into asking you the same question that I ask everybody: when was the last time you found $100? You're not one of those people? Guess what? You're not getting into FANG your first job. I'm not saying that it's just luck. It's like a lottery system in a sense, right? So even if you don't get into one of those companies, what you do is you go and you still work at other small to medium-sized businesses so you can actually grow and build your experience, right? Once you have experience, everything else is easy. Okay? Shout out to everybody in here. Let me know in the chat. I don't know. I'm not seeing. Let me know if the chat's working. Somebody leave a message on the chat right now. I don't know if you guys are there or not. I'm seeing a lot of people on the live stream, but I'm not seeing no chats. Remember, there's a Q&A. When I do this Q&As, it's really a conversation between me and you, right? So it's not just, here's Joe, he's going to present something. I'm not presenting anything. I'm not showing anything. I just want to talk to you. I want to answer your questions. I want to help you out. But I need you to be active in the chat. Let me see if the chat's working. Sometimes this YouTube application sucks. And the chat just freezes and never gets updated. So please leave a message right now so I can see if it's working. And it is that people don't want to talk right now, or the shit frozen, so I could restart the app and I could continue seeing the chat. Okay, please leave a message right now so I can see it. Okay, I'm gonna give it a minute. If not, I'm gonna restart the app so I can see the chats. Yeah, because this is a Q&A session, man. I want to discuss things with you guys. I want to talk to you guys. This is what I enjoy, So let me see. Seems like the chat is frozen. So let me try to do this real quick. Okay. Restart it. Okay, there we go. Okay, yes. So now I had to restart it. Now I'm seeing some of the chat. Yes, we're back. 32 Chris, what up? Pranav, let me see. Yes, I'm loading up all of the chat. Wow, so you guys left a lot of messages. Yeah, this YouTube app sucks, bro. Since they did this update where they're trying to be like TikTok, it sucks now. Let me see. Siddhartha says, loving or loving or love him. What you gotta love this guy. He's a true OG out there. Hey, thank you for that, man. Jamar says, it's good to hear that you are talking about the fresh grad. I am that one. Okay, nice. Hara says, I saw a guy go to our entrepreneurs and offer stuff for free because they'll eat it up. Yeah. Let me see. I'm a fresh graduate and trying to figure out what to do next. I have 1 year experience with MERNstack. I've gone 4 to 5 full stack projects. I want to get a remote job. What you suggest to me? My suggestion would be learn a different stack. Learn PHP, learn Java, learn .NET. That's where you're gonna find the most opportunity, right? I'm seeing your name is Waleed Khan, so I'm guessing you're maybe outside of the U.S., right? I can tell you right now, the MERNstack is the worst stack right now for anybody starting. It's not that it's a bad stack. It's that there's too many people learning the same shit. Okay, there's way more people that know MERNstack than there's jobs. So when you go in and you apply to those jobs, it's a lottery system. Now, guess what? Companies are gonna prefer to hire people here in the United States locally. Okay, and then the secondary option is people outside of the US. So with that information, you have to realize I have to go for the things that have an opening for my situation, not for what I like, right? Sometimes we got to get the shit out of our heads. It's not what we like, it's what pays us, okay? The MERNstack, it's great. I love it. It's exciting. It's always cool because there's always something new happening. It feels like you're always learning something, and it's great. But once you understand web development, now you got to branch out to another stack. PHP, C Sharp, Java, right? Those are positions that people don't look at. People don't want to do here in the United States. Also, too, people don't teach it, right? They don't really teach those things. A lot of people don't learn that in school. The things that they do learn in school is Python, right? Most of the time. And then when they look online, what type of skills they should learn, every YouTuber, every influencer, every single person that you could think of tells them, go and learn the MERNstack. So guess what happens now? Everybody learning just the MERNstack, and you're part of that. Right? You're part of that. So for you to find a remote job, it's much easier to do another different stack, you know? So that's why I would suggest to you. Hara says, from one of my favorite videos, good things are not going to come to you. You're going to have to go get it. Yes. Joe making me feel nostalgic, talking about Monster and Sears. Yeah, man. Boy says sometimes you got to thug it out. Let me see. Colin Pashala says, I'm working on the UI library, how to monetize it. I'm working on a UI library, how to monetize it. If it's like a React application or a React library, like I don't know exactly what type of library you're creating, but think of it as a digital product. The first thing that you want to do is bring awareness to it, right? Let as many people as possible know that you have this product, right? This digital product that they can purchase, and they can purchase a license. So one thing that you can do is create a YouTube tutorial, right, on how to build whatever it is, how to build a dashboard, for example. Now, in there, you go in and you create a couple of custom components using your library, right? There are going to be demos. doesn't have full functionalities, doesn't have everything that comes with your UI library, but you create a YouTube tutorial how to build a dashboard with real-time data, let's say for example. And then now you'll create that tutorial and give people a preview of what your UI components are. At the end of the video, you're gonna let people know, by the way, you can get this UI components here at pashala.com, all right, or codingp.com, whatever, whatever the name of the company you decide to choose or domain. Now, when they watch that tutorial, people are gonna decide if they want to go in and use your other components. That way, you're getting your first customers, and that's just organic. And you could do that multiple times throughout the year. Do like different tutorials, do videos talking about your UI library, what's the benefits of it, how it's saving people's time, etc. From there, as people come in, customers come in, get them to do a review on you. Leave a testimonial. And then from there, that helps you with social proof. As money starts coming in, then now you start helping. Well, what's organic, you start putting money behind it. Okay? And you start with something small, $5 a day. So that means you're going to be spending around, $175 a month. Around there, 150, 175 per month. Right? And with that, what you're going to do is you're going to put it out there, like on Facebook, Meta, Instagram, etc. And you put that ad there to bring people who are interested in React, who are developers, who are front-end developers. So you target all of those people, and they go to your website. Okay? Anybody that clicks on your ad is going to go to your site, is going to see your landing page, the benefits of your UI components that you're selling. Boom. Now, the next step is, because people don't buy on the first time that they see you, you got to create other type of videos that are going to be advertisement for social media. Talking about, the benefits, how much time it saves you. You might even get a UGC creator, right? Or UCG, I always get this mess up. User generated content, right? UGC. You go on Fiverr, you pay for somebody to come in, like one of those TikTokers. There's people that are nice with just coming on social media in front of a camera. Like, as you can see, like me, I'm comfortable to talk, but I'm not one of those people who be like, hey guys, have you seen what happened to this and that? How to do this, how to do that. Like, I'm not one of those fucking TikTokers and people that that do that shit, right? But there's people that actually are good with that skill, and that shit works, believe it or not. So you pay $100, $50 to $100 to somebody to create your content about that. One video explaining the things that your product has done. So I'll give you a great example. You can get like a young white male, beard, glasses, right? Typical developer. You have him come in, explain your product, and be like, hey, I'll give you a simple hook. You know what's been really on my mind, right? Or something like that. I don't know. You come up with something like, one thing that I hate is having to create dashboards with React. We always have to create the components. We have to create the API endpoints, etc. But you know what? I found this amazing library from pashala.com, and Pashala actually gave me this components to try it out, right? This actually saved my life. I was at the job, we had a crunch time, we had a deadline, and guess what? Thanks to Pashala, we was able to create the components and the application that we needed by that Friday. So I would suggest go check out pashala.com. You know what I mean? Like, create a script. You could use ChatGPT for this and pay one of those young white dudes to do it for you. And guess what? That's just gonna get you sales. Okay? That's gonna be your awareness advertisement. Now, every time that people click on your ad, they're not gonna purchase right away. So this is why you're spending $5. Now, the next step is to spend $10 a day or $5 a day. You could start small and then upgrade it later on with retargeting ads. And this retargeting ads is gonna say, hey man, like we know you went to the checkout, da da da. We know you're interested in this product. Here's a 20% off, right? Here's a 20% off. If they don't click on it, 4 months later, you create another ad that's targeting people that came to your website in the last 6 months, but exclude anybody that came in 3-4 months in the last 3-4 months. Okay, so that leaves the people that came to your website from the 5th month and the 6 months that they haven't gone to your site at all. So now, instead of a 20% off, you go in and you say, I'm gonna give it to you for 50% off. It's a digital product. The work has already been done, right? It's already been done. That you sell it at $150 or $200 when somebody wants to purchase it right away, hallelujah. You go in with the 20% off, they buy it for $160. Guess what? They don't want to buy it at $160. Come back in and sell it at $100. It's a digital product. The work is already done. You get what I'm saying? It's not like you have to do new work or more work. The work is already done. So technically, what you care about is making some money out of it. So that's how you're gonna be able to make some money with your UI library, Pashala. It's a combination of organic traffic to bring awareness of your UI library, and then a combination with paid advertisement. Okay. Hara says, Theo said you should be interviewing every 6 months, and I agree because you don't know your worth otherwise. Yeah, that's true. Muhammad Sisi says, are there jobs for MSI? I don't even know what. Microsoft Dynamics 365, I don't even know, but I'm not in that world, to be honest with you. Henry goes, yo, what is up, Mr. Joe? I will get my last round for interview tomorrow. Any advice for the interview? Is going to be cultural fit kind of interview for senior email developer. I don't know, man. Do some research on that. My advice is just be yourself. Make them feel comfortable. You know, don't be a weirdo because, you know, sometimes people be quiet. People don't turn on the camera. It's like they want to know who you are. They're going to be comfortable working with you, right? But that's pretty much it. But of course, you can find other resources. You know, even when you come to CodingPhase, you still got to look for other resources, right? Sometimes people think like, oh, I just signed up to one services. It's like, isn't it almost impossible for me to be able to provide every single thing, right? Like, let's say resumes, right? Like, I don't do resumes, right? I can give you some tips on how to improve it, but there's a better person that's all they do is just help you with resume, right? There's people that's online that give a lot of good resources and you know, how you call this, articles and blogs and videos on YouTube, etc., that can help you out with, you know, with that type of question to help you in that process, right? Because I could give you one tip, but then at the same time, there's other people that could give you other tips, and now you have a better recipe. You get what I'm saying? Let me see. The Witch Song says, I'm 17 years full stack developer. I have no certificate to get hired. You got 17 years full stack developer, but I have no certificate to get. That don't make no sense. You got 17 years, bro. You don't need a certificate to get hired. Now, if you're talking about maybe in your country, some countries they're very strict with, I need somebody with a degree, I need somebody with a certificate, I need something, right? Some companies are like that in other countries. But again, if you can't find a job doing whatever it is that you was doing before for whatever reason, try other stacks, try other things. Look at what people are hiring for on Fiverr, right? when people hire somebody on Fiverr to do some type of work, that means there's a demand for it. You'll see things like Shopify, WordPress, and a whole bunch of other things that pop up on Fiverr. That's a great indication of what you should be learning, because most of those people that are looking just for a one-time gig, they always come back. And then at some point when they constantly hiring contractors, they realize they better off just hiring somebody full-time. You get what I'm saying? So that's something that you want to keep in mind. Angel M says, "Hey Joe, when will the new entrepreneur course be released to be able to get clients as a freelancer?" I'm working on it. It's just I had to take a little break to try to finish my startup, but I'm working on it. Yes, the chat is working now. I'm, let me see. I'm super behind on the chat. Okay, that is true. Most of the interviews I've been getting for is for PHP, WordPress, and Java, Spring Boot. Let me see. Salisu says your video on Hostinger helped me a lot. Can you rename the stack to learn again? Yeah, the stack that you want to stay away from is the MERN stack. Learning React is not the problem. It's just learning only React and then learning Next.js or Learning Express and MongoDB or that whole ecosystem is a problem for anybody that's just starting off. Yeah, PHP or .NET or Java. Joe, you think I can be up and running with PHP WordPress in 2 weeks? I'm doing your course right now. I'm starting a part-time position in less than 2 weeks. Oh, you're starting the part-time? Nice. Yeah, you could learn a lot from the WordPress course in 2 weeks. Like, it shouldn't be a problem. Now, it's all up to how much time you put into it. If you're doing 1 hour every 3 days of those 2 weeks, then yeah, no, you're going to need more time than that. But if you're doing it consistently 2 to 3 hours a day, you should be fine. Let me see. Should I choose full stack roadmap because I see that front end market is overwhelmed? I mean, well, you should look. MX Sniper. Forget about full stack right now. Initially, what you want to care about is getting a job. If you go to CodingPhase.com, anybody that's in here, if you're interested in coming, I can come in and help you out. Myself, you go to CodingPhase.com and I can teach you all of these things, right? And what you should focus on. I will help you with the search of the right jobs for you, what you got to do for your portfolio, what type of projects you got to add, right? If you already have a lot of the skills, you could skip so much of it and we just focus on how to get you into your first job and having the right portfolio, right? But for anyone that's starting up, forget the concept of becoming a full stack developer. That's like trying to become a doctor at home. So my advice is to do it a different way. Do it gradually, right? So you could actually get results. Because you could learn how to be a full stack developer at home, but that doesn't guarantee that you're going to get a job. Because once you get there, a full stack developer is supposed to have this amount of experience, right? And he's supposed to get paid this amount. So they're not willing to pay you $40,000, $30,000 as a full stack developer. That's a slap to the face of full stack developers, right? They're not gonna do that. So there's a certain, salary that we're supposed to give you as a full stack developer. But even though you have the skill, a lot of companies are not willing to go and give you that money just because you said, I could do this at home. So my advice is, do what I tell to everybody. You can come to CodingPhase.com and I teach you the way to do this, right? Learning HTML, CSS, and then from there, what type of jobs you can get with HTML, CSS, learning the tools around that. Once you get a job with that, right, now you have time for you to learn about JavaScript, learn more about PHP, learn more about Node.js, whatever it is that you want to learn. But now you're getting paid while you're learning. And then now you start preparing for your next stage, which is your next type of jobs, right? You already have 6 months working, and then now you're actually applying for front-end developer or full-stack developer, whatever you decide. But at that point, it's a big difference because now you have experience. Now, again, like I said, you can learn from me, right? You can learn from me, or you can look at my curriculum. My curriculum works, right? And you can learn from wherever you want to learn. Because guess what? Not everyone can learn from my platform. Let's just be honest, right? There's people that don't have the budget, right? Don't have the money to be able to pay for CodingPhase. CodingPhase is a full service. We're not selling just one course. We're selling the whole service of coaching you, helping you with your projects, reviewing your portfolio, giving you the projects that you need to build, searching for jobs, right? Giving you those job lists. So I'm doing a lot of things that come with CodingPhase, and we sell it as a whole service. But guess what? Some of you guys might not have the money, might not have the budget. Even if y'all wanted to do it, y'all might not be able to do it, right? So in that predicament, what do? You do what you can. You look at what's my curriculum. How is it that I lay everything out? What courses I teach? You know, how is it that I'm laying everything out for the students, right? You can look at that just by going to my website. Now, are you going to get the same results as the students that I have? Most likely no. It's going to take you longer because you're going to have to go and learn from this guy, this other guy. This other guy teaches a different way. This other person teaches a different way. This other guy recommended something else. So now you're like in a big loop of like trying to figure this out. And even if you have the curriculum, it's just going to take you longer, right? But at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. It's like right now, if my name is, I don't know, Joe Pardeep, right? Or Joe Patel, right? And I don't have the money to go to CodingPhase, what I can do, I can go and look at CodingPhase curriculum and then go and try to follow that curriculum. And then from there, yes, I already know in the back of my mind that most students of CodingPhase is going to take them 2 to 3 months to get this done. Maybe it's going to take me 7, 8 months because I'm doing it for free. I'm just going in and looking at his curriculum and figuring it out in other platforms or services or tutorials and trying to do it that way. You get what I'm saying? But the information is there. You know, I'm just here to help, right? So if you're in that situation, do that then, you know. Now, if you feel like, man, I don't want to waste time and I do have the budget and I can afford to go in and pay this at least on a monthly basis, shit, you know, come to CodingPhase, right? Look at the link in the descriptions. There's always a 20% off. Right now, it's $100 a month. You pay $80. With $80, if you go in and you say, I'm just going to go in and try to get as much as I can, in 1 month, you could finish the content editor path, and you could probably finish half of the email developer path. You know what I'm saying? So with $80. So that will give you the first steps. And then you have 4 weeks with me where I could go in and give you tips on your portfolio, give you the type of projects you need. You have access to the list of jobs, and that's it. But again, anybody that's interested in going to CodingPhase, go to CodingPhase, right? But again, it's for those that can. It's not for everyone that wants, right? Everybody wants it, but it's only so much that I could do. Let me see. I know Mernstack, Pronounce analysis. I know Mernstack well. I don't want to spend time learning a new stack and find a job. Should I start learning? Bro, stop being lazy. Bro, this is the thing, Pranav. This is how I know you don't know. And I'm not trying to diss you. I'm not trying to disrespect you. I'm just telling you, as somebody that has experience, been doing this shit since 2011. Okay? We're in 2024, going to 25. It's a lot of years. This is how I know that you don't know what you're doing. Because if you do know the MERN stack, right, and you are a full stack developer and you learn enough that you can build full stack applications, you will understand that switching to another stack is simple because you already know web development. You already know there's a server, there's the front end, there are ways that they communicate with each other, and all you will have to do is learn the syntax of, let's say, PHP, Java, C Sharp, etc. Right? That shit don't take anybody who understands web development. That shit doesn't take more than 2 weeks to learn. So that right there tells me two things. One, either you're lazy, or two, you don't know what you think you know. And again, I'm telling you this as a friend to try to help you out. When you switch to another stack and you actually know what you're doing, it's not difficult at all. This is why guys that go in and work, let's say, for example, at, I don't know, let's say Facebook, right? Facebook uses a version of PHP. They also use some type of Node.js. They use React, right? Because they created React, right? A guy can go from there and then go and work at Amazon with no problem. In Amazon, they're going to be using a bunch of technologies. They're going to be using Python, Java, right? They're going to be using React. And then from there, that same guy can easily go in and go and apply to be a Golang developer at another company. Even though he don't know Golang, right? But he understands the concepts of web development, of working on the web. And once you know that and you have experience with one stack, it's easy to learn the next one. It's not that you're going to be an expert. There's going to be little things that you might not know that you might have to go and use ChatGPT for. But guess what? You understand the concepts. You understand that? So please get this out of your mind. I know MERN stack well. I don't want to spend a lot of time learning a new stack to find a job. Get that shit out of your head. That's the worst mentality that you could have, because then you're going to be here without a job for a long time. And the next thing that you said, should I start learning Web3 to get a job? Web3 is not going nowhere, bro. That shit is done. Nobody's using that shit. That was a whole hype from years ago. The NFTs, the crypto, this, and that. That shit's a hype, bro. No one's using that. People that say, oh, I'm getting paid this amount, this, is usually because they're getting hired into a lot of companies that are already scams, and they're willing to pay the quote-unquote engineers a lot of money because it's like they got money to burn. But right now in this economy, you don't see Web3 jobs like that. You don't see NFTs and any of that shit that was popping in 2021, 2022. That shit is done. That shit is not going nowhere. Now, crypto itself, Bitcoin, Ethereum, there's a use case for it. But another thing that you have to remember is there's guys who are 10 years in the game and they're into that shit. Who would I rather hire? A new developer from India that hasn't worked anywhere? Or should I hire a guy that's here in the US with 10 years plus of being a full stack engineer, working at XYZ company that now wants to do NFTs and crypto and Web3? That's the reality of things that you have to always remember, right? That's the things that I look for to make my decisions. I got to look at all those variables. If those things don't make sense to me and be like, well, who would I choose? The guy that has 10 years, the guy that just started? If I have to say, well, I got to go with the 10-year guy, that means me as a beginner, I shouldn't be going that route. You could always learn Web3. And if the future, right, this thing becomes big, guess what? By that time, you're going to have 3 to 4 years of experience. So you have a leg above the next guy that is just like you today, that doesn't have experience. You could always go to those things later on once you have experience. But right now, it's not about what you like. or what you want to do. It's what you have to do. I know people like NFTs. Shit, I love game development. I like messing around with Godot. But guess what? What am I gonna do? Am I gonna spend all day, creating a video game on Godot, or am I gonna be working on the things that I need to work on to make my business grow? I'm gonna work on HTML emails. I'm gonna work on content editing, right? I'm gonna work on PHP. I'm gonna work on Shopify because that's what gives my students results. It's not what I like. It's what I have to do. You get what I'm saying? I have to do what's gonna get me paid, right? It's the same thing you have to do, right? If I start telling you, hey man, go to the MERN stack, I'm doing the same thing that everybody else is selling and everybody's teaching. That's not getting results. So I have to go for the things that's gonna get my students results, because when my students get results, more students sign up and I get paid. It's the same concept you gotta have in your mind. When you're on this path, you gotta go for the things that's gonna get you result. It's not what you like. People don't, if we always able to do every single thing that we wanted to do, like everything that we like as far as developers, guess what? It will be a perfect world. But that's not what makes money. You gotta look at your situation and look at what's the right choice for you, what you have to really do. Okay? Okay, Red, you're having freelancing and have made a couple of clients. It's not as easy as I thought. I get clients any gems. You got to use advertisement, man. Harold, advertisement. If you already got clients, that means you already have testimonials. From there, if it's on Fiverr, Upwork, you now have to start using advertisement. You have to put money behind you. Organic only goes so far. Organic only goes so far. Always remember that. Yeah, Pranav. I'm glad that you appreciate it. Sometimes people don't want me to tell them the truth, but that's the truth. You have to go for the things that's gonna get you paid. And also too, like I said, Web3, NFT, all that stuff is all hype online, bro. It's the same thing as the MERN stack, right? They hyped it up so much that now everybody only learns that. But then now they fucked up the market, because now there's way more people applying for roles that, one, they're not qualified for. Two, there's a very little amount of junior level developers that can do that stack, right? So when they do have some openings, there's like 2,000, 3,000 people applying to it. And that's just here in the U.S. That's just here in the U.S. So you outside of the U.S. trying to get a position here, I'm not going to say impossible, because everything's possible. We see it all the time. We go on social media, we see one guy that's, hey, I'm working as a MERN stack. Hey, hi guys, my name is Pradeep, my good sir, and I'm working in the U.S., and I'm making this amount of dollars and this amount of rupees. You seen it. You seen there's guys that pop up and know, this is how I make 130,000 rupees. And you get what I'm saying? And they'll tell you they're making that. But pay attention to the majority of people. Don't pay attention to the one person who got that one job, because that's not the norm. That's not the norm, and that's where people mess up at, right? They make their decisions on the exception, not on the norm. The norm is, if you look at the comment section, there's a bunch of people that can't find a job right now because they all have the same skills. The exception is the one guy that shows up on social media and tells, hey man, it's so great here, man. I'm learning, MERN stack. I'm working with TypeScript. I'm working with this and that. That's that one guy. For that one guy, there's about 200, 300 people that cannot find a job doing that stack. So you, as somebody from outside of the U.S., you gotta say, shit, I don't want to leave this thing to destiny. I want to get this bag. You know what I mean? I want when I get this job, I want to get my nice house, my nice condo, get a nice BMW, Mercedes, right? When I come back home to the village, I come down with the fucking golden hookah. You know what I mean? I got little kids running barefoot behind me. Yo, that's Pranav. Mr. Pranav, can you give us something? And you go like this, you throw some money for the kids. Like, yo, here guys, take care of yourselves. And you back home because you got some money in your pocket and you living good. But if you leave it to destiny, you be like, man, one day if I continue working on this, one day I'm gonna make it. No, don't leave it to destiny. Make it happen. Start from the small things, build your experience, look at the market. Where's the opportunities? What are the jobs that people don't want to do? What are the jobs that people always shit on? They say, oh, I don't like Java. I don't like Perl. I don't like PHP. I don't like C Sharp. You know what I mean? I don't like this, and that. And you look at those things as opportunities. When somebody talks shit about a framework, a language, that lets you know, there's a mindset of people that don't want to go this route. But when I search for the jobs, they're popping up jobs, right? So I have to go in and choose those so I don't have to be here on a waiting list until somebody gives me a job on the MERN stack. I'll go this route and get myself a job. Making 50, 70K, remotely. From India, from Pakistan, from Nigeria, from Mexico, from Dominican Republic, from Brazil, from wherever. And you chilling, living your best life, right? Because $50,000, $70,000 here in the U.S. is not going to change your life. But you living outside of the U.S., you know what you could do with that. You're damn near the president's son. You know what I'm saying? I know how it is. I come from a third world country. You know what I mean? Dominican Republic. I go to DR and I live in DR with $70,000, $80,000. I'm living like a king. I got beaches everywhere. I got, party everywhere. I got, top hotels, top resorts, right? Shoot, I could live Airbnb life forever in DR. You get what I'm saying? So you could have a really nice lifestyle in your country by doing the things that people are not really looking to do. And that's fine, because you're not here to basically do what you want to do. You're here to make money so you can do what you really want to do. It's a 9-to-5 job. Once you go back home, you could code in anything you want to code. You can code in Java, you can code in JavaScript, you can code in Python, you could start making games, you could, work NFT, Web3, etc. Whatever you want to do. It's your off time. But first, get paid on that 9-to-5. So that's the thing. Look up working remotely, for like a lot of the channels that's out here on YouTube. There's some good channels. I've been watching some Indian channels that they're pretty good, but there's a lot of guys in that ecosystem that also bullshit, that they be like, well, this is what you got to do, you got to get this certificate, and you got to do this and that, and this is how I made it to Microsoft. And mind you, the average Indian developer that's just learning how to code, they don't have access to 90% of the things that this YouTuber talked about. Well, I graduated in the top 2% in Mumbai, and then I did an internship at Microsoft, and then I did this to this and that. That's not the average person. That's not the average person. That's like a guy that I was watching. There's a guy that he's viral on YouTube. That he's like, he did a video where he talked about like his journey to working in big tech, right? And he's like, I went to school. Mind you, he's Indian, right? He's like, I went to school in Brazil, and after Brazil, I went to a high school, a private high school in Florida. Then from Florida, I went to was it Arizona? I don't know, University of Arizona, and I got my bachelor's degrees there. And I did an internship at Microsoft, and Microsoft gave me an offer. And then since Microsoft gave me an offer, I kind of liked it, but then I chose to go to a startup because I was more interested in what I was going to be able to learn from working in a smaller team. And and does that story sound like a regular Indian dude? Put number one. Hold on, I think the chat froze. Give me a second. Put number one if you think that's the average Indian developer's story, or put number two if you think this is a dude that we could say he's one of the elites. Put number one if you think he's a regular common person, just like me and you, right? A commoner, right? What's the word? A common person, or this is another, a poppy mommy kid. Number one, if you think this person is a regular fucking dude, just like me, you and me, or this dude is a poppy and mommy kid. I just told you the whole story, his whole journey on how he worked in big tech. Right? Guys, there's 72 people in here. Put the number one if you think this is a commoner, or two, this is a poppy and mommy kid. We commoners. We regular folks. We're lucky that we're alive, and we're lucky that we're alive, that somehow we're trying to make something out of ourselves. Or is this guy like us, or he's like one of the poppy and mommy kids? You get what I'm saying? Put number one. It's a lot of people in here. Put number one if you think this story that I just told you from this one individual, right, is the regular dude just like you and me, or is this a poppy and mommy kid? I mean, just that lets you know ahead of time. Indian dude, raised in Brazil, high school in Florida, goes to freaking top state university, goes to Microsoft, gets an internship, gets an offer, declines it, right? Declines it to go take a risk at a random startup. And then now works at, I think it's like on Amazon or some shit like that. Does that seem like a regular person? You get what I'm saying? Number one, if he's a regular person just like you and me, or number two, he's a poppy and mommy kid. It's an interactive chat. Put the numbers here. And if you cannot put the numbers here, that means you got to subscribe to the channel and like this video. That's why they're not letting you put anything on the chat. There's like a 10-minute delay before before you can actually leave a comment. Okay? Majority of you guys are using your brain. That's number two. Right? Number two. Why is it? And what are the red flags? Because most people that is, trying to become developers and is coming from India, they don't have a story like that. That lets you know, for the parents to come in and be like, yo, we're going to send our kids to go to a private high school in Florida. Number one, how do you get a visa for that? You get what I'm saying? That's a red flag. How do you get a visa for that? Right? People don't just, who sends their kids to go study? I'm going to send my kid to study in the UK. I'm going to send my kid to study in South Korea. I'm going to send my kid to study in Paris, in France. I'm gonna send my kid to go study in Florida. I'm gonna send my kid to go to California and study. That's not regular folks. That's people that got money. It's like a doctor, a fucking somebody that works for the embassy. Like, this is people that have really good careers, really good jobs, really good businesses, right? That have access to give that education to that kid. And that education also comes with opportunities, right? And those opportunities, we don't have access to that shit. And even at that, the moment that most of us, we come in and we go to Microsoft, and Microsoft comes in and says, hey, we got $120,000 for you, or 50,000 relocation, 20,000, 30,000 in stock options every year, and in 2 years you could get a raise, da da da. You tell that to one of us, we taking it. You know who don't take it? The one that got it. The one that got it, he's not taking that. He's like, I want to travel the world. I want to go backpacking in Utah, and then I'll go to this startup. That's somebody that don't even need this fucking job. So what do I say with all of this is that sometimes we're looking at this influencers and people to come in and give us advice, and we're looking at their journey and we're thinking, this is what I have to do. This is what I got to study. This is what I got to go and follow. Right? So when you follow those people, you don't get the same results because you're not playing the same game. You get what I'm saying? You're not playing in the same game. You're playing the same type of game, but not in the same game. You're not playing with the same board. You get what I'm saying? So you trying to follow what they're telling you and how they did it, that should be a red flag for you, where you got to make your mind and be like, oh, boy, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't qualify for this, I don't qualify for that. Oh, cool, this doesn't work for me. Let me go and see what works for me, something that is catered to what I do, where I'm at in life, where, what this is specific time frame with my limit of, of time that I have to give into this, right? Then now you can find real advice that can really help you. That's why I don't follow nobody that's on social media, especially like the tech YouTubers. I don't follow nobody. And it's not because I'm like, man, everybody's bullshitters and this and that. No, it's because I understand the business models. A lot of times people come here on YouTube and they don't understand that this is the same thing as a search engine. This is not social media like Instagram used to be, or YouTube used to be, where somebody will post their little cat, somebody will post a little thing about themselves, and was just curious about the internet and they just wanted to share things online. That's not the case anymore. Social media is a search engine. Most of the social media are search engines, and you're going to be given the type of content that you're looking for so the person can get paid. Very rarely you're going to find channels like this one where I don't care how many views I get in a video. If I get 100 people that watch my video, I'm happy with that. You know why? Because out of those 100 people, 3 to 4 of those people are going to get awareness of my business and how we can help them out to get into the tech industry and the skills that they're going to learn with me, right? I don't care about getting views. But the majority of people that's on social media, they give you information to keep you entertained, to keep you happy, to give you, motivation, right? Which is part of entertainment. And a lot of times that does nothing for you. It's like in social media, like you've seen those channels where there's guys that have all the time a brand new car. They're buying a brand new car, they're buying a brand new whatever, a new Lamborghini, new Porsche, new Rolls Royce. I just got this house. I just got this and that, right? but they never tell you how they make their money. They never share how do you get to that point. So for that, why the hell am I gonna watch those people? It's the same shit with tech YouTubers. I don't watch people that, number one, don't resonate with my background and my journey, and two, are overselling the industry. Somebody comes in and says, "Hey man, this is how you get a $150,000 job," and this is, I'm already like skeptical because I know that's not the average. That's not even the average. That's not even the median of how much money people make. So again, and with everything that I know about life and just everything in general, I'm like, all right, for me to get to that point, I need to figure out a way that works for me of where I'm at. I can't listen to this fucking guy telling me about he went to this fucking Microsoft internship and that he went to Google and that he went to this and that. It's like, motherfucker, like that shit has nothing to do with me. I'm not going to no fucking Google. I'm not fucking getting an internship. I'm 36 years old. What am I doing in a fucking internship? You apply as a 40-year-old, go apply as a 40-year-old and apply to Google as an intern. There is no 40-year-old intern. You get what I'm saying? And I be seeing people that's like grown folks following little kids that's like 19, 20 years old, following their advice. I'm like, motherfucker, like, that shit has nothing to do with you. You're not going to get any type of results at all. But yeah, man, it's definitely raining out here, guys. Now, again, guys, just keep your eyes open. Social media, if you see a lot of bullshit, a lot of fucking, just overselling it, like it's so easy to get 150, so easy to get into the FANG, so easy. There's things behind it. The people that get that are not the norm. That's not the normal thing that happens. That's the exception. Now, I'm not saying that it's impossible, but you have to come in with that mindset. And if it happens to you, hallelujah, man, thank God. But if it doesn't happen to you, you can still get there, but you gotta plan it out properly. You have to set yourself up for success. It's not about going in and be like, oh, I'm dreaming about this, and that. I want to get to this position. No, you go in, how do I get there gradually? Oh, I have to work at a small agency? Cool, let me do that. Oh, that now I got to learn this skill to go to this mid-level company? Cool, I'll do that, right? That I should stay here for 2-3 years, really honing my skills and getting really good, and then start learning about algorithms and helping me pass the interviews and then apply to those big companies that I wanted to go to? Yeah, let me do that. So now you have a realistic plan, right? That's gonna work for you. Guaranteed. Guaranteed is gonna work for you. Because you wasn't trying to skip steps. You wasn't leaving it to destiny. You was just literally building up to that position. You're 100% gonna get the position that you want if you build up to it. If you go in and you say, I want to skip steps, I want to pay a boot camp to teach me all of this in under 3 months, you're gonna lose automatically, right? If you go in and you say, well, I'm gonna pay this one guy, YouTuber who I found online, and $2,000 because he went to Google, what makes you think that he could teach? That he went to Google, great. That's cool. But let me see his track record. How many people has he actually taught? Before I go in and I pay him $5,000 for him to fucking teach me the same shit that I could have learned somewhere else for cheaper. So you have to always keep that in mind. And then create a plan for yourself. And you're going to get to those positions. A lot of times we sell this idea of you don't need a degree to get hired. And that's true. You don't need to get a degree to get hired. But you're still gonna go to the school of hard knocks, right? The streets. And what do I mean by that? You're still gonna have to put in your 1 to 2 years, 3 years, maybe even 4, working in small to medium-sized businesses before you get to the big companies. Now, some people might be able to do it earlier, and some people might take them 2 to 3 years, or even 4. But if you consistently go in and do the work that you need to do and gradually grow and hone your skills, you're guaranteed to make it there. You get what I'm saying? These companies, they want people that's qualified, and if they can find people that they could potentially mold into the type of developer that they want early on, that's how they get into those positions. But for most of us, we have to think about this like a realistic way. Cool, I didn't go to college for 4 years, but guess what? Let me go and get paid and get experience in different jobs doing web development the next 2 to 3 years. ComSci Brad says, I'm curious, what does it take on learn one stack like MERN and master? You can learn the MERN stack, but if you're not getting a job with it, you need to switch. Because you could be a master. There's people that are masters. There's guys right now that they contribute on open source. They're doing a bunch of shit, and they haven't gotten paid one day. Look it up. People think like open source is this thing where everybody makes money or people get opportunities. There's plenty of guys living in a freaking basement, living at home with their parents, that they don't make not even $1. They're geniuses, masters of a language or a framework, right? Of a stack, and they're not making $1. You don't want to be like those guys. You want to be like the guys that actually make income, because if you don't make money, you don't really have experience. If you're not working on real companies, you don't have work experience. You know? So that's my suggestion. Learn the MERN stack. If you see, hey man, in 6 months I haven't gotten any results, yeah, it's time to go. I learned web development with MERN stack. I'll give you a great example. I learned web development with Ruby on Rails. Do I work as a Ruby on Rails developer? No. Right? Same thing with the MERN stack. You can learn web development with the MERN stack, but you have to go to where the jobs are. If you can get a MERN job, hallelujah, cool. But if you're not getting it, cool. Learn something else, and learn that bring that knowledge that you have from the MERN stack and the flows and the concepts that you learn about web development using the MERN stack. Now put it into a different language, a different stack, where there might be less competition, where there's more opportunities for you. And then now, a year, 2 years later, that you have a year, 2 years of experience, you go in and you apply as a MERN stack developer. And I guarantee you're going to get hired right away. But yeah, guys, listen, I'm about to get out of here, man. Yeah, Michael de la Riva says, true. I went all in on React, but no one here uses React. Michael de la Riva. Joel Infante says, I learned the MERN stack and looking at PHP now, it feels similar. I understand the concepts much quicker. Yes. Once you learn one stack, you can learn another one. It's just about learning the concepts. And if you don't know the concepts and you can't learn another language, using the whatever you learned before, that means you don't really know it. It's something that we gotta burst that little bubble. Pop! If you are a MERN stack developer, JavaScript developer, and you don't know how to actually set up a simple server with PHP, and how to send JSON data to a REST API endpoint, you don't know MERN stack. You don't know web development. You just been following tutorials. Because when you know it, you can do this shit in Python, you can do this shit in Golang, you can do this in Ruby on Rails, Java, C#, Elixir, PHP, you could do any of them. All right? Guys, listen, I'm about to see you guys later. Take care. Renee, shout out to you. Thank you for coming through. Harold, Joel, Comsync, Bra, Michael de la Riva, Harold Cabrera, Henry Coles, Boy, Mop Scale, Tony, 32 Chris, Eric Guayo, what's going on? Raymond, Henry, Kevin, Pranav, the whole squad, man. Thank you for coming through and hanging out with me on this beautiful, I would say sunny, but beautiful, freaking rainy ass Florida. Just waiting for the storm right now. Take care, guys.